This is my last news segment here at the News on 6. For it, I invited my longtime friend and former colleague Clayton Vaughn to join me. He was an important mentor to me, the consummate newsman, ever calm, wise, and instructive. Taught us all so much.
And besides that, I talked you into being here.
That's
so
right.
It seems legitimate that I should be able to tell you how important you have been, not only to Channel 6, but also to Tulsa. I had an awful time, frankly, talking Glenda into coming to Channel 6. She was on radio at the time, so I knew about this killer voice, and we'd been friends for a long time. But the one thing that you brought that I learned only after you came was this remarkable compassion you have for people. And let me tell you, let me tell you how a newsroom works. It works on empathy for the person most affected by the story. And this person was able to give that to our newsroom, and for that we're greatly indebted.
Thank you so much, Clayton.
And News on 6 anchors Terry Hood and Scott Thompson collaborated on a tribute to Glenda and Glenda's remarkable career.
Thank you. But my entrance into television was so unconventional. I wasn't trained as a broadcast journalist. Clayton Vaughn literally called me one day and said, "We have an opening on the noon news, and would you like to try it?"
And just like that, Glenda Sylvie was launched on a career that would span more than 2 decades and catapult her into the major news events of our time.
Our hearts are literally broken for these federal workers and the children and their families.
In a business that so often deals in despair and sadness, Glenda thought there ought to be room on local television for other things, finer things, the things that make our lives better. She believed we ought to recognize the artists and poets and dancers among us.
It's disappearing more all the time, the coverage of these things. And yet, if we aren't saying it, if we aren't putting it out there, how are people going to know? To me, it's our highest obligation.
Dale Eldred's sculptures work with the forces of nature.
She never did fit the bill of a traditional news anchor. Professionally, Glenda always tilted at windmills, fighting for longer stories and greater depth. Her work made us all proud.
The dancers are challenged by another Balanchine trademark.
She crafted documentaries on the Tulsa Ballet, Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys.
The room is small, only 40 by 10 feet.
And took us to Israel to follow in the footsteps of Jesus.
Christian tradition honors this site as the place where Jesus delivered his Sermon on the Mount.
Former KOTV news director David Deutsch was a mentor and a friend.
Glenda is an excellent writer. She's great at long format reporting with an emphasis on long. And of course, she's got that killer voice.
We all know that life isn't as simple for the children of today.
But it was more than the killer voice. It was the fierce intelligence behind it. Glenda always believed there was room for carefully chosen words to work their magic on the small screen, to combine them with beautiful pictures, and teach us something of what we are or what we can aspire to be.
She's one of those unique individuals, Terry, who use their own talents to bring out the best in others.
That desire to uplift, to teach, led her out of the newsroom and into the classroom for a short time, but it didn't last. Fortunately for us, the newsroom called her back. Glenda returned to KOTV in 1999 to report and anchor the noon news. To the surprise of no one, she soon made the broadcast her own.
And the anchor desk became a platform for her. In a way, it was a platform that represented integrity, that represented goodwill toward everyone, that represented a dedication to work and aspiration. It was a place that we could all tune in every day and be inspired and feel like this is what our lives are supposed to be about.
Despite appearances, she is no angel. Don't think that for a minute. She can, and did, raise holy heck in the newsroom at times.
I fear I'm legendary for that.
But it was only because she cared about life's sweet spots. And when push came to shove, hers was the voice speaking up for those among us who see life a little differently, who give life its verve and sparkle, be it on canvas or in sculpture, on a potter's wheel, or on the pages of a book. She celebrated them all because each of them celebrated us, reminded us how lucky we are to be alive, drenched in color and draped in song.
Just like our friend Glenda, Thanks for passing our way. We'll miss you.
Thank you. Happy trails. Thank you, Latoya. You've been wonderful. I love you. And Rich, too. Thank you.